Hey, Scrapper Names fans, welcome back to a new process video. Welcome to a new series called Stash Down Saturday, and this is for all of you crafters out there who, like me, are overwhelmed by the amount of things we have in our stash and things that don't get used. So, this layout is using the Pink Fresh Studio Super Cool collection, which is an oldie. I brought it, haven't used it. So I was actually rummaging through my my collections of things, collections of scrap stuff, and found it and thought, I need to use this. I really like it. So here I am now. It's a bit of a teenagey sort of kind of vibe. Not so much, I wouldn't say boy themed, but it is very much aimed at your, teens, preteens, all that fun age. So today I'm scrapping a photo of my stepdaughter. Just some random selfies. She's taken my phone, obviously, and decided to pull some selfies, and I've decided to print them and scrap them for her to always remember. So as you can see here, I have this main 12x12 piece of paper with the funky prints down the side. You can't see it on a camera, but it's got a bit of a grid pattern to it as well. There was too much white space. I couldn't actually decide between these two papers. I wanted this one and the one that I'm using as the main sort of paper. So when I couldn't decide, I decided to use both. So I just trimmed down a piece. I can't remember how big I made it, actually, of that, very busy background one to use along the side just to add a bit of interest to this page. Now I'm just going to map my photos. So it's two different photos taken consecutively, I'm guessing. I just found them going through my camera roll. So yeah, I thought, why not, as I said. Now I'm going through the rest of the paper pack there and looking for some more papers to map my photo. Now, like anyone with anything really scrappy, we tend to hoard. And I must admit, so I don't have the small, like a 6x6 paper pad of this, which is a bit of a bummer, but at the same time is a bit good because I'm using this collection now up, or trying to. So matting my photo, I had to cut into some of these 12x12 papers, and I struggled because I usually try not to use the 12x12s and hoard them essentially because I really did like most of the papers that were in there. But alas, I managed to push through and use my stash, which is what we're all about. Now, this printed paper, like mixed media looking paper, is something I've pulled in from my folder there of printables from Inky Quill Patreon. So I'm just matting that on. I wanted to give the background or the mat a bit of colour around it, so I've bordered it a little bit with some coloured soft tone type papers, but now I wanted the blue just to sort of pop it up a little bit and add a little bit extra colour. Also ties into the blues that are on the pattern papers as well. Alright, so now I'm going to go through, and as you can see, I've got the ephemera pack, again, untouched. I'm pretty certain it's pretty much untouched. And just going through, and I'm pulling out pieces that I kind of relevant, not to the photo, but to her. So she's a teenager, late teens. So yeah, just having some fun around what I would put there that sort of represent her, I guess. Yeah, there's no theme, I guess. There's not a lot of colour in the photos, as you can see. It's just a real good close-up of her face. So it does give me some flexibility of what I can use. Making sure, obviously, not to clash with the not icon, but the pieces along the side of the main piece of 12x12 paper. But I am popping some in there that, I think I do go through and pop them up on some craft foam just to bring them up, make a bit of interest and pull them away from that printed piece. And then just adding bits and pieces in. As you can see, it becomes a very busy layout. There's not a lot of sort of white negative space, and I'm okay with that. I'm not a big white space scrapper. I always find that I have to challenge myself if I want to make the layouts have the white space. I always feel like it needs to be filled. But that's to each their own. As you can see, just going through, I had already I'd auditioned where bits and pieces were going to go. I don't think I'd stray too much from where I placed them. I may a little bit, but yeah. Just adding some bits on craft foam just to, as I said, just to pop them up, make them a little bit catchy so the layout's not completely flat. It adds just a little bit of an element of like 3D-ness to it, as well as a bit of interest. And then leaving some of the other ephemera pieces more sort of flattened out. Alright, going through the sticker sheet, again, pretty much untouched. I really like this collection actually. I really like the colour palette of it. I found it really easy to work with. And yeah, as I said, in my little tubs, if you've seen my craft organisation, you will see that I have all my collections sorted into 12 by 12 baggies and into sort of plastic tubs. And yeah, I was going through looking for something else, and I was like, oh, might have been another Pink Fresh collection. I was like, oh, that's there. So yes, so as I said, the point of this series is each Saturday I'm going to either use the same collection, just depending on what I'm doing, or use something different from my stash. So it's not necessarily going to be new items, stuff that may have been sitting there for a while, collections that might be years old, but just trying to chew through a little bit of what I have kicking about. And I urge you to join in if you find your stash is really overwhelming and sometimes distracting you from actually being able to create. Feel free to jump on board. Pretty simple. As I said, just pick something you haven't used for a while or ever and get into it. You might want to make some embellishments. I mean, I'll probably make some project life pages, and there's art journaling stuff that I've got kicking around that I'll whip out and try and use, or, different techniques and stuff like that. But yeah, I urge you to feel free, jump on in. Now, I'm just putting my journaling down the bottom here. I was going to try and find a little journaling spot to do it, but I just did it there. And part of me afterwards sort of thought I should have done along the edge, like up around the layout, because I thought that would be, it might have looked really cool. But it's literally just a little, I don't know, sentiment to her. So if she comes back and looks at this page some point down the track, there'll be a nice little note there from me. And as you can see, also the title is also the blue alphabet stickers that came with the collection as well. So it's all the collection. As I said, the only thing I think I pulled in was that Inky Quill printable background. Oh, do I add? Oh, and some sparkle. Of course, some sparkly bits. I felt the layout needed a little bit of sparkle. It is very flat, but it's very busy. But why not? So just sticking them down around the page just randomly. Yeah, just to add a bit of glitter and glam to it. And then I think this wraps it up. As I said, it was a pretty easy layout once it all came together. It was an easy collection to use, I feel. And maybe the photos, because there wasn't any real colour in the photo, it makes it easier. Again, another element there. But yeah, I'm happy. I've cut into it. And I think my next one I think next Saturdays will be a Christmas one, because I've spoken numerously about how ridiculous my Christmas stash is. And I'm getting there. I did notice the other day that I've been scrapping some Christmas stuff, and it's slowly getting there. I have used a ephemera pack up from that, so that was a bonus. But yes, so stay tuned. I'm going to try and have these up every Saturday, as the name says, Stash Down Saturday. Let's work through our scrappy supplies and get them onto some pages and into some albums. But thank you so much for watching. That's the end of the layout. I do have some close-ups for you next, coming through now. Any questions, leave them in the comments, and feel free to leave a like and subscribe. And I will see you again in my next video. Thanks so much for stopping by. Bye for now.